A very warm welcome back to Buriram. We are in the east of Thailand, the Chang International Circuit, round one of the Asia Road Racing Championships. We've had a fabulous weekend's racing so far. The crowd enjoying the sun and the heat and some red-hot racing as well. We've had the 150 Underbone, we've had the 250 Asia Production, and next up, Barry Russell and I will be talking you through the Supersport 600 with the Superbikes still to come. Talking of the Supersport 600, let's just recap what happened in yesterday's race number one of the weekend. Race number one of the Asia Road Racing Championship 600cc Supersport. Andy Farid Idzaha leading the way for Astra Honda Racing Team. He was in really good nick, was the guy who's been working in Europe and on the World Series over the last couple of years. But there's some really good competition. Helmi Azman right behind him for Butsu Honda Racing Team, the Malaysian champion. He was right there. Ibrahim Noruddin was also right in there. Ratapong Willarov from Yamaha, the Supersport 600 local champion and former ARRC. He's in the blue. He was in there. This is a highly competitive field. We did have one or two casualties. Fairozi and Krichapong both crashed out, both were DNFs, and Ratapong also had his engine fail, I think into 8th lap. So it's a 12-lap race. So on the next lap after this one, that's where Ratapong lost his way. That left the way open for Andy Farid Idzaha and Helmi Azman to go nose to tail. Ibrahim Noruddin was always trying to get close to them. And also Chip Nakarin, bike number 41. As they came in, Chip Nakarin lost it on the final corner. He would go from P2 to P7. He got up and finished in P7. Andy Farid, or Andy Gilang as they call him, he went on to take the race. This is how close it was though. Chip Nakarin, bike number 41, just tries to come on the inside of Andy Farid, wanting to win, and in the end he gave up second place. Helmi Azman benefiting for P2. Ibrahim Noruddin coming home for SIC Racing in P3. So a great result for Astra Honda Racing, frustration for Honda Racing Thailand, but he would get up and finish, shake of the head, but P7 nonetheless. He'll be competing and he'll be competitive today. These are live pictures of, well, that's the Buriram Football Club, the champions elect or champions to be, and Buriram Castle in the near ground, and the Buriram Football Club Training Centre. And these are some of the men who are responsible. Well, this is the man who is responsible for the whole network. Nguyen Chidchob, the president of the Chang International Circle, just giving a little bit of a wave to the crowd. He has reinvigorated the economy in this part of Thailand and has put together some genuine international quality, not only circuits, but also the football stadiums, the training facilities, and the tourist attractions as well. And celebrating with Somkiat, the first Thai win in GB history. That took place last week at Mandalika, and we hope for Somkiat it is the first of many over the years. Nice little attraction to have ahead of the next race, the Supersport 600s. As there is the circuit. We had a bird's eye view of the main straight. That's between 12 and 1, so that's the main straight. There's the long straight from 2 to 3. And then corner number 12 is really the one that sorts out the men from the boys. I think Barry Russell is down amidst that little scrum of people. And let's see if we can get one or two interviews with those who's qualified. This ahead of race number 2 of the Supersport 600cc at the ARRC.
And we're down here on the grid for Supersport Race 2, Supersport 600 Race 2. And I'm here with Malaysian ace, Helmi Azman. Helmi, you had a great fight with Andy and Ibrahim in yesterday's race. What do you think is going to happen today?
Yes, for sure. Yesterday, I very fight with the top group. So in the race 2, I try to keep my momentum like the race 1. So I hope I can fight with them and I can finish on the podium.
You're looking good, my friend. Have a great race. Okay, so that's Helmi Azman, who's been racing in Supersport 600. And now we're going to go to Thai rider, Krichaporn Kaosonti, just having some photographs taken, and in some distinguished company with Pasawit Titivarak as well. If we just get in here. Krichaporn, your speed has been great this week. You had a disappointment of a DNF yesterday. What happened in yesterday's race?
Yes, yesterday I problem to the suspension, and today I will do my best. I follow the top group. I hope to the second flag and the podium.
Okay, that's good. Krichaporn, good luck. Have a great race today. And there he is. Of course, Honda Racing Thailand. Honda Racing Thailand is another one of those organizations. I was going to say teams, but it's really an organization that brings talented riders through, including Somkiat, who we saw earlier on. And now we're going to talk to Galang Hendra. Galang, welcome back to ARRC. You've had some distinguished experience on the world stage. What's it like? How do you rate the standard of competition here in ARRC?
Yeah, this level is really high. All the riders are really fast, and also especially with the heat like this, we have to maintain the strategy to keep the tire, but we have to always keep on throttle. So today in race 2, yeah, I just have fun for riding and set the target for top 5.
If you enjoy it, you'll probably achieve it. Galang, good luck for today's race.
Thanks.
And there we are. That's Galang, sounding, as you can see, very confident, very happy, and very impressed with the standard of riders he's racing in compared to World Supersport. We're going to clear off the grid now. So I'm going to hand back to Des in the studio.
Thanks very much, Barry Russell. Yes, some good interviews there. Galang Hendra was very bright and cheerful. Good support from the owner of the Chang International Circuit, particularly for the Thai racers. You saw him going to give Chip Nakarin a big hug and wishing him good luck. Chip Nakarin, as we saw in the highlights earlier on, slid off the track on corner number 12 on the final corner of yesterday's race. Did recover to finish up in P7, but he will be looking to go a little bit better today. Andy Farid Idzahar from Astra Honda Racing, yesterday's race winner. As we also look at some of the great and the good, the FIM Asia president, Stefan Carapier. We've seen plenty of him handing out the prizes, but good to see the great support from the FIM Asia crew for the Asia Road Racing Championship. Lovely zoom shot of the grid at Buriram. And this is the man who's on pole position, Andy Farid Idzahar, looking for a win double. You can tell how much he's grown in confidence, Andy Galang. We saw him a few times on the ARC a few years ago. Then he went into Europe, and he's clearly buzzing and glowing with confidence with the support of a really good team, Astra Honda Racing, looking for the win double today. It's a 12-lap race for today. Alongside him on the grid is Chip Nakarin. As we said, he slid off, is looking to improve on that. Lap time inside 1:39 in qualification, so he's quite happy. And then Ratapong Willarot, now he slid off on the track on lap number 8 yesterday. And in a short season like this, it's 12 races, but only 6 rounds, you can't afford too many DNFs. 1, maximum 2, but the rest of the teams will be so consistent. Irfan Adyansa is from Astra Honda Racing. He's the second of their racers, qualified in P5, in P6. Ibrahim Noruddin from Sepang International team, Malaysian. He just tracked everybody. He did really well. He was very dogged in his pursuit of the top 4 when they were getting away yesterday. And in the end, his reward was a position in P3 without him really being on the pace. no Azroy Hakim Amwa. 14 starters. Azroy Hakim is in COVID quarantine, which has been very, very frustrating for several of the racers, particularly some of the Malaysians who came up and were forced into quarantine and missed the races. It's really, really tough for them. And one XOX TKR racing team particularly badly affected. So here is the starting grid for race number 2. Andy Farid Zahar for Astra Honda Racing, alongside Chip Nakarin for Honda Racing Thailand, Ratapong Willarat for Yamaha Thailand Racing Team. Very high quality top 3. Helmi Azman is the Malaysian champion. Irfan Ardienta from Indonesia for Astra Honda Racing. Ibrahim Noruddin is a very good racer. Kritchapon, we didn't really spend much time with him, but he's capable of getting into a podium. Kanatat Jaiman from Yamaha High Speed Team. Galang Hendra Pratama from Yamaha Racing. He looked pretty cool, calm and collected in his interview. Fairozi was a champion in Indonesia last year at 150cc. Khalid Mpawi is quality. Izam Ekmal is a young racer for one XOX TKR Racing Team. Kandanai and Yanason. Well, Kandanai is doubling up because he's also in the Honda Talent Cup, and Yanason Yanapam was the second racer on the Yamaha High Speed Hung Modified Racing Team, riding the Yamaha YZF. Barry Russell is back alongside me in the commentary box. A quick sprint from the Parc Ferme, and a lot of activity going on there. I want to ask you about Galang Hendra, because he gave a very composed interview. He's starting in P9, and we're on board here with Galang Hendra at the moment. Now, what's your thoughts on him and performance yesterday, and how the team is looking in the setup of the bike?
Well, I think his happiness on the grid bodes well for this race. He was confident. I mean, you can see it in a rider when they are relaxed, and he was relaxed, as you could see, surprisingly so. So I think the team's in good shape. We know it's a good team. We know he's a good racer. He's starting from ninth.
Yeah.
Which underscores what he says about the quality in this championship compared to World Supersport.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Khalid Mpawi is down in P11. I'm looking at that and I'm going, wow, Kip is a top draw racer.
Absolutely, yeah.
You've got Andy Farid, you've got Chip Nakarin, you've got Ratapong. So Nakarin, Chip and Ratapong, they owe the home crowd a little something, because both crashed out yesterday in dramatic circumstances.
Yes, they do, yeah. In fact, Ratapong was an engine blow-up, but yeah, they definitely need to deliver something to this impressively large crowd today, and it is great to see that. I love to see the stadiums filling up.
We are under orders. Red lights are on. When they go off, we are on the way. It's a 12-lap race. It's a solid start from Andy Farid. Andy Farid, Andy Gilang, to his many, many fans. Ratapong Willarot has just been swallowed up a little bit by Helmi Azman. Irfan Ardians has made a good start. Going wide there was the Yamaha Racing Indonesia of Galang Hendra Pratama. So he's been dropped just a little bit, but this is a really, really quick start from Andy Gilang.
Yep, and getting in behind him nicely, Helmi Azman, who again was full of smiles on the grid. But you have to watch the smiles with Helmi, because sometimes they're brave smiles and sometimes they're confident smiles. But that was a confident smile.
I also saw he was saying, "Where's Azroy Hakim?" Well, hopefully Azroy is watching from whichever quarantine hotel he is being put up in. As Helmi is in P2 at the moment, but Andy Gilang is setting up a torrid pace just at the moment. Ratapong Wilrot has been swallowed up and is actually down into P5, and this is on board. That was Ratapong just going mighty close to Galang Hendra Pratama. Galang Hendra has got the inside line on him. And 19 down at the back is Yanason, so he's right at the very tail, but it's a long crocodile at the moment, Barry Russell.
Yeah, it is, and Andy Gilang, I'm falling into his Indonesian name, but I'm a fan too. His confidence must be so high. He's been at the top of the timing sheets all the way through pre-season testing, all the way through free practice, bagged pole, bagged P1 in race 1. He's got a lot more than the rest of them. Helmi.
Oh, that's a sliding up there. That's the Fairozi, I think. Oh, you can see the reaction. Oh, what a dreadful weekend for one XOX TKR Racing Team. Was it Izam or Fairozi?
Let's take another look.
As we look, it is Amikmal who'd made a really good start. He got himself right the way up from P12 into P405, and you can just see his personal frustration, still shaking the head as he gets back up. Oh, he is fuming. Izam Iqbal.
Yeah, that's it. And Irfan Ardiansi, he'll be looking to improve on his P4 from yesterday. Another quality rider in this field. I think he's in P3 at the moment.
Yeah, Irfan has got himself up into P3. In fact, those three have been able to break away from Ratapong Guilarat. That's quite a gap between Farid, Helmi and Irfan. So they all on the Hondas. Irfan on the Honda CBR, Helmi and Andy Farid. So the Hondas performing better than the Yamahas at the moment in the early stages. And Andy Farid is just pulling away. Helmi, you can see it, Helmi's working really, really hard out there.
Yeah, he is, and he might be holding up Irfan as well. Let's just see what happens as we come down to the end of this lap. But this is stunning by Andy Farid.
His outlap was a 1:46.77 as he comes into corner number 12 for the second time. He just takes a beautifully nice line, and he's put in a 1:39.1, which is 0.3 quicker than Helmi Azman. Irfan third, Ratapong fourth. Ratapong, though, is, well, 1.1 seconds down on the top three.
Yeah, that's an amazing gap to pull out on the first couple of laps.
He's blasted his way through as Andy Farid is the heart. Ibrahim Moradin not once again is chasing. Chip Nakarin, he's dropped down into P6 as we're on board with Irfan Ardiansa. Now Irfan yesterday didn't, where was he? He was P4 in the end, but he was never really in contention, Irfan, was he? Today he looks like he might not be in contention for P1, but he could be in contention for a podium.
Yeah, and yeah, Helmi's put some daylight between himself and Irfan in third place. Very early days in this race.
Behind them, Ibrahim Noradin's got himself ahead of Ratapong Guilarat. But this is the story at the moment. Helmi to Irfan is nearly half a second. Then behind them, Ratapong has won back that place he lost to Ibrahim Noradin. That's from 3 to 4, it's a second gap. So that's the battle between Ratapong, Ibrahim and Chip Nakarin. Pritchapon off the pace.
Yes, he is. And yesterday we saw this terrific ride by Ibrahim from nowhere, way off the pack.
Well, he just chased. He just wouldn't give up, would he? He was determined, bloody-minded.
Yeah, that's it. Determined racer. That's what. There's Ratapong. He did a 139.6 basically last time. And guess what? Andy Farid has the fastest lap, which was his first flying lap, 139.1.
Wow.
That is a stunning pace.
At 139.1, his fastest lap yesterday was 139.6. He's half a second quicker than his fastest lap yesterday.
So maybe it is a little cooler than yesterday. Somebody went wide then.
Well, Ratapong, I think it was Irfan Ardiansa, has gone very, very wide.
Is Irfan there in the pink helmet?
Oh, it is, isn't it? Oh, maybe.
Might have been Chip Nakarin.
So Chip Nakarin currently in P6, but that's a long, long gap. Andy Farid setting a torrid pace. Ratapong is closing in on Irfan Ardiansa, and he's also been able just to bring the others with him. Ibrahim Noradin has lost the place, I believe, to Nakarin. Karolidin Powie has joined that little group. Let's see how number 89 does, but let's go on board with Ratapong Guilarat, a former 600cc champion, the defending Thai BRIC champion, the BRIC championship, which takes place at this same venue in Buriram.
Yeah, and it's pretty competitive as well. It's not a huge field, but there's a lot of quality in it. And
well, it was Maglada Sarapet she was battling with in that last year, just edged her out. And Critchapon, actually, who got P2. But at the moment, Ratapong Guilarat is looking to get into P2. But this is a procession. Andy Farid's pace has just been phenomenal. He's just done another 139.3, Andy Farid.
Yeah, they're quite strung out now. And shout for Helmi Azman to maintain a relatively small gap.
0.8 of a second. But compared to the rest, it is, because they are 2 seconds clear of Irfan and Ratapong and Nakarin and Khalid and Pawi. And Ibrahim Noruddin is dropping down even further. It's the green helmet of Ibrahim Noruddin as Khalid and Pawi goes past him. Kip, a former junior champion on the ARRC. I remember he had a runaway victory in that championship. He's been abroad as well, learning his trade.
What we need to see from this second group is somebody to break away. There are riders capable of matching the speed of Andy Farid and Helmi, including Nakarin, including Ratapong, and of course including Pawi if he really gets his act together.
Galang Hendra still in P9 though, not able to make any real headway. He's lapping in the 140s, which is a full second per lap down on the pace being set by Andy Farid. Idzahar up at the front. Galang Hendra, we've got that on-board camera for him occasionally. Yeah. It's so hot yesterday, it affected the RF signal to the on-board camera. It's a little bit clearer today. And Ratapong, he'll be hoping that his engine doesn't blow up like yesterday. And at the moment, he's closing in on Irfan Ardiansa.
Yeah, it looks like Irfan's in the way.
Ooh, Khalid and Pawi and Ibrahim Noruddin having a little contretemps.
Foot off. It's always tricky to get around there tidily.
Particularly if somebody's taking your inside line. You've got your line, your eyeballs are on that line where it should be, and suddenly somebody comes into your eye line.
Yeah, you definitely need plan B when you come into turn 12 during a race.
Andy Farid's lead. Oh, Andy Farid's come off.
Oh.
Andy Farid has slid off the track with a 1.5 second lead. Oh, he just lost the back end.
The perfect weekend for Andy Farid Izdihar has just ended. With that, let's take another look. Yeah, he's tucked the front. Yeah, he's tucked the front, and when you tuck the front, only one thing can possibly happen according to the laws of motorcycle physics. And
well,
that's
he was setting such a torrid pace. He'll try and get back out on the track. But that doesn't do your tyres much good either.
Yeah, he'll probably get far enough back up to score a few points.
That's the key now, get some points in. But Andy Farid, wow.
And doesn't that leave Helmi in a good position?
Well, he works so hard.
So if he can build on P2 yesterday, and if he can consolidate this lead, keep a cool head there at the front.
But it's different chasing to leading. It's a very different mindset. Yeah. And Helmi Azman has got that mindset now of, okay, I'm the hare.
I don't think he's been in this situation before in the 600 class. So let's see what happens. This is going to be really interesting.
As you can see, plus 2 seconds. It's actually plus 2.4 seconds is the lead. So a good lead for Helmi Azman, but Irfan Ardiansa and Ratapong, and you can see they are, as you said yesterday, it's like the Jaws theme, isn't it? They're circling for the kill.
Yeah, the question is, will they help each other to catch up, or will they fall further behind as they fight with each other?
Well, Chip Nakarin's got himself up into P3. This is the corner where Andy Farid went off, and
that's Yanason.
Or Yanason Yapanan.
Yanason's down, so not a brilliant weekend for him in his inaugural entry to this class.
It's all right. He looked to be struggling just there. The medical team will be on site very, very quickly for Yanason.
Yeah, as you said, Des, there is Nakarin challenging Irfan Ardiansa.
So Irfan P2, Ratapong 4. Look at that. Ibrahim has pulled in Karel Idampawi and Krichaporn's part of that group. What's the lead now? I'm looking for the next sector difference, and that'll tell us.
And he's through. Nakarin's through.
Nakarin through into P2.
So he's
still
canny
2+
enough.
seconds.
Yeah, and 6 laps to go. So he's canny enough, Nakarin, and experienced enough to try to break away from this group. He was clearly quicker than Irfan to get through.
Okay, 5 laps to go as we go over the start-finish line. What's the difference into the pits? That's Andy Farid Idzahar. He's decided enough is enough. He won't pick up any points today, Andy Farid. The gap 2.9.
So it's extended, and now Irfan is fighting back against Chip Nakarin, so they could hold each other up.
They certainly could. So Helmi was 1/10 quicker than Chip Nakarin that lap, and Chip Nakarin was the one who was making all of the headway.
Yeah, that's right. Irfan, yeah, he was definitely slower that lap. Ratapong not making an impression on those front two, but Nakarin's not getting away.
But do they work together? I mean, it's always it makes sense for them to work together if they want to win the race. But if they're battling with each other, that just gives Helmi free track ahead of him, and he's not racing. Helmi's just got to put in fast lap after fast lap after fast lap.
Yeah, and they're fighting. You could see Chip trying to get up the inside, going into turn 5.
So Irfan's retaken P2.
And let's not forget who's behind them.
Yeah, old Ibrahim Noradin. Ratapong has been dropped a little bit. I do love the attitude of Ibrahim Noradin. Both brothers, they're really, really competitive.
Yeah, and we talk about the quality in this field. Who's behind them? Powie.
Carolyn Powie. That's great. Kritchapong, Galang Hendra, who's still there. Fairozi, Kanatat and Kondanai. Yanason slid out. Andy Farid's out. Isam Ikmal crashed out. Azroy Hakim, a non-starter. Again, with 4 laps to go. Let's see what the gap is. It was 2.9 seconds. What are we now? It is 3.1. He's pulling away, Helmi.
Yeah, Irfan got in front of Nakarin during that last sector, and sure enough, those guys are holding each other up. Irfan was the quickest, not quite. Ibrahim was quickest on that last lap.
If he keeps putting in, though, 140.5, nobody's going to catch him. A second a lap, you just will not catch up a second a lap.
No, you won't. And mature performance from Helmi. He looked confident yesterday, but as you said, when you're in a battle, that's different to having a big lead at the front. Different kind of pressure. It's fun chasing bikes. It's fun racing with people. It's nervy when you're at the front.
He'll be pleased to get off the little underbone 150s, which is riding in the Capri, as Nakarin goes through into P2 once again against Irfan Ardiansa. And Ibrahim Noradin, who's chasing a podium double, he's holding on in P4, that distinctive black with the lime green helmet for Ibrahim Noradin. He's got a bit of slipstream there as well, as our runaway leader Helmi Azman leads from Chip Nakarin, from Irfan, Ibrahim, and Carolyn Powie. He's just been tracking Ibrahim Noradin, hasn't he? And Ratapong down in P6.
The lap times are so close. It's so difficult to get past and make any impression. I mean, it's impressive what Andy Farid and Helmi did at the outset. But now, who can get past? Who can get some real clear air in front of them and chase after Helmi Azman, who's got just 3 laps to go as they cross the finish line this time.
He's just posted a 140.0. He's increased his lead again. It's now 3.5 seconds. It's not been as big a lead as this. In fact, we've not seen a lead as big as this in the 600s. This is really impressive from Helmi Azman, striding away from Chip Nakarin, the local hero, Irfan Ardiansa, and then the Malaysian threat of Ibrahim Noradin and Karl Idem Powie.
They're still beating each other up there. I think that's Ibrahim.
Ibrahim's gone inside Irfan.
Yeah, so he's got in front of that. Look, let's see what he can do. But as you said, there's 3 laps, less than 3 laps remaining. That's a big, big ask. In fact, what it really asks is for Helmi to make a mistake.
Yes, well, we've seen that's possible. That's what happened to Andy Farid Idzar, because Andy Farid was leading by a second when he went out, as Chip Nakarin tries to get through, and Ibrahim Noradin holds on to P2. Chip Nakarin bike 41. Behind them, Irfan Ardiansa. Might be a little bit frustrated that he's lost his P2. He'll be aware that Karol Powie's right on his back wheel, though. So these are having a race within a race. Let Helmi go and pick up the 25 points. You're welcome to them, Helmi, because that's the lead now. That lead is increasing, Barry Russell.
Yes, it is, and thanks to these guys duffing each other up just behind. And because Ibrahim, determined though he is, cannot break away from Chip Nakarin and Irfan Ardiansa.
2 laps to go. 2 laps to go. He's crossed the line, has Helmi Azman. The lead is 4.5 seconds. That he could push the bike home from here.
That's incredible. I hope he hangs on just so I can see the grin in Park Ferme.
Indeed. So Helmi Azman from Malaysia, the Malaysian 600 champion. He's foot down, lap time of 1:39.7. He's 5/10 quicker. As you say, the others are duffing each other up. It's not quite the technical term, but it's absolutely accurate in the way you're describing it. But look at this, it could be a Malaysia 1-2, because Ibrahim Noruddin has just got a little bit of leeway as they come down the edge of the hill and into this long left-hander, that blind left-hander. Chip Nakarin's there, Irfan Ardiansa's there. Don't write off Karalit Pawi.
Every one of these riders, privately or publicly, has commented how difficult the competition is in this class, and just how close it is. You ask them for a prediction and they can't predict, they just hope and do their best. And here comes Chip Nakarin up the inside. Can he hold it? Determined Noruddin shuts the door in his face.
Irfan Ardiansa was looking for a double inside pull on there as well. But Ibrahim Noruddin, remember he got a really, really valiant P3 yesterday. He's in P2 today, as Helmi Azman has corner 12 all to himself. 3 abreast as they come into this. Chip Nakarin tries to take the apex a little bit tighter than Ibrahim. Final lap, the lead is huge. 4.8 seconds. Final lap, don't make a mistake, Helmi Azman. You can even actually just take a little bit off and still romp home comfortably.
It can be difficult to do that if you're in the rhythm, even if it's a really fast rhythm. That was a 140 dead, the last one, and the lap before that was a 139 something.
He's been very consistent at close to the 140s, so you're dead right.
Yeah, it's better he just stays on the pace and on the lines he knows. He's got no interference. So yeah, if you back off, that can change your mindset and just take your eye off the proverbial ball.
So Ratapong Willerot has been dropped a little bit. He and Critchapon having a right old battle for P6. This is the battle, the 4-man battle for P2, where Noruddin is leading Chip Nakarin. Nakarin tries just to take a tighter angle, but the apex works nicely for Noruddin. He was chasing yesterday, Noruddin. Today he's being chased. And Chip Nakarin looks on the inside once again. Noruddin, a lovely line though.
Yeah, there was no way through then. He was really quick through that turn. And let's see what happens in the next few seconds.
Is that Karalit Pawi's made a move on Irfan? No, Irfan's still there. Karalit Pawi probably not going to be able to make the pace. But this victory, as we come now, is secure for the race winner, Helmi Azman. Helmi Azman takes it for Malaysia. Behind him, look at that. Noruddin has been beaten into it. Chip Nakarin 2, Noruddin 3, Irfan, Karalit Pawi, Ratapong and Critchapon, Galang Hendra in 8. But this was a victory, 4.9 seconds. 4.9 seconds. That is a wonderful performance from Helmi Azman. He was chasing Andy Farid for so long. When Andy Farid slid off, Helmi took up the gauntlet, another 140 to complete. Nakarin a 139.8 to pinch second place, but Helmi Azman, comprehensive victor.
Absolutely, yeah, he deserved that. Andy Farid will feel sore about sliding off, but you have to stay on to get the result. And speaking of that, I'm going to go down and talk to the winners.
Okay, so Helmi Azman can celebrate a hugely successful weekend. A P2 followed by a P1. He will be the championship leader. Going into round 2 on his home Sepang circuit on the 28th and 29th of May. Practice, of course, before then. So a really, really good day for him. Ibrahim Noruddin will be mightily frustrated with the 3rd place. He will have been buoyed by his 3rd place yesterday, but frustrated that he's lost out to Chip Nakarin on the last corner, which so often happens. Chip Nakarin will be happy that his last corner memories of today are better than his last corner memories of yesterday, as we get the results. Helmi leads by 4.9 seconds from Nakarin. Ibrahim ahead of Irfan Ardiansa. Honda, Yamaha. Irfan Karalit Pawi P5. Ratapong holds off Krichapong for P6. Galang Hendra comes in 7 seconds down on the Yamaha YZF in P8. The other finishers, Fairozi, 17 seconds off the pace. Kanatat just finished, and Kondanai, who's doubling up. Andy Farid, ooh, he did get back on the bike. He did come out. Yanason crashed out. Mohammed Izam Ikmal crashed out. So I'm wondering if Andy Farid might pick up 4 points. If he does, at least rescues something from the weekend, or something from the day to add to yesterday's victory. But he lost the front wheel coming into the hairpin when he had a healthy lead. And from there on in, Helmi Azman went on and dominated. Bike 89, Karalit Pawi just getting a push into the pits from Irfan Ardiansa. But there is your runaway winner, Helmi Azman, riding for the Bunchu Honda racing team on the CBR 600 RR. Ibrahim Noruddin, back-to-back P3s, but very different performances. You can't complain overly if you get back-to-back P3s, but you can be very frustrated that you've lost it on the last corner. Irfan Ardiansa, 2 fourth places in a row. Karalit Pawi, 2 fifth places in a row. Ratapong Willarot, at least he finished today. He'll pick up 10 points for P6. But it is a very, very high caliber group of racers in the Supersport 600cc. So if you win by 4.9 seconds, you know you have put in one heck of a performance. Backslapping galore. Good day for Malaysia then, with Ibrahim Noruddin in the 600. His brother Adam still to race in the 1000 Superbikes, which will be the finale of the races here at Buriram. There is the Honda Talent Cup to follow that, so if you happen to be in this part of the world within 30 or 40 kilometers, you can race here to catch a couple of good races, and the Supersport 600s promises to be an absolute beauty.
Welcome to Park Fermé. We're here with...
Okay, let's go down to Barry Russell, who I believe is at the Park Fermé talking to the top racers.
And we're back in Park Fermé. We're here with the P3 man once again, Ibrahim Noruddin. That was a great race and a great fight. You had to do some catching up, and then you put yourself right in contention for P2. Yeah. How was it for you?
The fighting was great. I fighting with Chip Nakarin. He was so fast. I know Honda was they have a better riding because their motorcycle was very fast. We know Yamaha can fighting with the Honda, and at the beginning of the lap my slider was pulled off, so I tried to manage not trying to use a slider on the right side until the finishing lap, but Nakarin was they passed me at the last corner. So yeah, thank you to all my crew, ZK crew at SIC Racing, and all of my sponsors to support me at the race. Thank you so much.
Ibrahim, that was a fantastic performance. Congratulations. And next we're going to speak to Chip Nakarin, who finished P2. Chip, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yesterday you had a disappointment at turn 12. Today you made a nice move to come through and take P2. How was that race for you?
Yeah, I do testing from yesterday, learning how I mistake. So today I have new plan and don't never. But the beginning was start really bad. So I lost the front group. So I try to don't give up, and step by step, and looking the guy, how they riding, and in the last 3 laps, I pushed 100%. So last one, the Malaysian rider, Noluddin, he lead. I know where is he slow. So
Yeah.
I overtake.
That was a fantastic move on Ibrahim. He's such a fighter.
I want to thank you, my team, Honda Racing Thailand, and all my fans, my family. So next race, I will try better.
Chip, that was a fantastic performance. Congratulations. Okay, you take care. And now we're going to talk to the winner. He's going to put a mask on, but that's not going to hide the smile on his face. Helmi Azman, you're the winner. Congratulations, and you won by such a big margin. What were you thinking when you realized you had such a big lead?
Yeah, firstly, I want to thank to my team, Bunshu Honda Racing Team, because he provide me this weekend so very well. So, okay, for the race, I want to try to follow Andy, because Andy, I know the race pace very strong. But Andy lap, I don't remember, but he crashed, and then I tried to maintain my lap time, just 39.7, 39.8. But I feel very cannot because the track very temperature so high. So I try just to maintain, and let's see the lap, but my gap 3 seconds. So I try to keep my pace, and okay, I want to thank to my family, my friend, and thanks to all my sponsors because always supporting me. Yes, this winning went so long because last I am winning in Underbone. So finally I get here win for my first win in Supersport 600. So I'm very happy. So thank you to all. I love you guys.
It's great. It's great to see Helmi. Congratulations. See you in Sepang.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Race highlights here from the Supersport 600cc race number 2 of the Asian Road Racing Championship season 2022. Bike number 27, Andy Farid Izdahar, fastest on pole. He also won yesterday's race and got off to a fabulous start. Indeed, it looked like Andy Farid Izdahar was going to waltz away with this race. There was a problem for Izam Iqbal, who slid off on corner number 12, just got the front end just a little bit wrong, and Ratapong Willarot was trying to keep up with the pace. Ibrahim Noradin making a mistake there. Ratapong got into the top 5, and then midway through the race, with a massive lead of 1.6 seconds, a mistake from Andy Farid Izdahar, he slides off on turn number 3, and that means that Helmi Azman, who was the only one who'd been able to go with the pace of Andy Farid, had a huge lead. Those behind him could either choose to work together or to race with each other. They decided to race with each other, and that meant that Helmi Azman was able to extend his lead and extend his lead and extend his lead. So by the time Helmi Azman crossed the line, he was 4.9 seconds clear of Ibrahim Noradin. This is 2 laps to go. Look at that gap there. Helmi Azman from Malaysia, Bunshu Honda Racing Team, really waltzing away to victory. He was chasing Andy Farid, and then he had the confidence to take the lead and extend that lead. That meant the real battle we were after was for P2. Helmi goes across the line first, a massive 4.9 seconds clear. P2, Noradin loses out at the last second to Chip Nakarin. Nakarin 2, Noradin 3 are the answer for Karaladin Pawi 5, but a win by a country mile for Malaysia's Helmi Azman of the Bunshu Honda Racing Team. And now we just wait for the trophy presentation. And Helmi Azman, as Barry said in the interview, although he's wearing a mask, you can almost see the smile through the masks. P3 for Ibrahim Noradin. 2 very different races for the Malaysian. Yesterday, Barry, who's back in the commentary box, Ibrahim was chasing. Today, he was chased and caught right at the very end.
Yeah, and as you heard, Nakarin had a plan. And of course, he knows this circuit better than Ibrahim. But Ibrahim, don't take anything away from that performance. That was brilliant work. Another fight, as you've been saying, Des, he's a very combative rider.
But this man, Helmi Azman, wow, to win by 4.9 seconds, really takes some doing. He was chasing, he had the pace to stick with Andy Farid when Andy Farid got away, and then he had the gumption to be able to extend his lead. 140, 140, 140, 140, lap after lap.
I think, Des, that was the measure of him as a rider now. And the stage that he's reached, that he was able to do those consistent laps. That was just a brilliant performance, and it, as he said, a milestone.
Malaysia 1 and 3 on the podium. As Chip Nakarin just collects his helmet from one of his team members down below. Negara Ku was gratefully listened to and sung heartily by the Honda team. Natapon Atadasena, the director of the Sports Authority of Thailand. Thank you for your support for the Asia Road Racing Championship. He's handing out the main prizes. I'm sure he'd love it if Chip Nakarin was be able to get P1. But P2's not bad, and after, as you said in your questions, you couldn't have a different corner 12 between yesterday and today for Chip.
Absolutely right, Des. He said, you probably heard him, he said he thought about the mistake he made yesterday. That's the kind of professional he is.
A really professional performance from Helmi Azman. And in a really competitive field, that marks him out as something a little bit special. Yes, Andy Farid was leading, but Andy Farid made the mistakes that Helmi Azman did not. Stefan Karapier comes through, the FIM Asia president, to hand out the rather snazzy KYT helmets. As the prizes. Well, thanks to Stefan and FIM Asia for their support as well. It's great to be back racing.
Oh, it is, yeah, and it's great to see these officials back again. As a former official, I have a lot of friends in that community, yeah, this is, in every way, this has been a fantastic weekend.
Helmi Azman, Chip Nakarin, Ibrahim Noruddin, they are the 1, 2, 3 in the Supersport 600cc. Still trying to see if there were points awarded to Andy Farid Izdihar, because he did get back on the bike, and I think he may well be awarded 4 points, which may well put him into the top 4. Let's see. Indeed, he does. So, Helmi Azman, 45 points, 13-point lead from Ibrahim Noruddin. Those 4 points for Andy Farid Izdihar for getting back on the bike, they could serve him very nicely. Level on points with Chip Nakarin. Irfan Ardiansa, 2 4th-place finishers. 2 5th places for Karolidin Pawi. Galang Hendra, 18 points. Kanatat, 14 points for the Yamaha high-speed team. Then you've got Kondanai Ratapong. Disappointing weekend for Ratapong Willarot. Ahead of Kritchapon, Izam Iqmal, 7 points. Fairozi, 7 points. Yanason Azroy Hakim didn't start. So we've just got one race to go. We've just had a racing lesson from Helmi Azman. Now we're getting a walking race. The bikes will be an awful lot quicker when we return after the break. Well, this is the Asian Road Racing Championships coming after the break. The Superbikes, the 1000cc big boys.